Good afternoon, everybody. It's now December the 21st. It's Tuesday. It's about 5 p.m. here in Istanbul, Turkey. How is everybody doing today? So I'm going to pick up where I left off in my previous technical analysis video. And we're going to try to give you an update 3 to 4 times a week. I think it's important for me to keep up with Bitcoin throughout the weeks because it's going to give me a better edge on being able to account for large drops or rallies, which could also start to carry a lot of the alts as well. So in my previous video, excuse me, we're going to jump right into it. And I've made that conscious effort to do my videos without shilling anything, without really talking about myself a lot, keeping it very objective, keeping it focused without emotions. Although I do want to say that my Discord group is currently closed right now. For the last few days of December, I'll open up signups to yearly memberships only for maybe about a week or so. And then it's going to be $600 a year. It also comes with the course for free. And then after that, if you don't sign up in 2022, because of the amount of content that's on there, the price is going to go up to $800 a year. And the reason why I say it's going up is because it's being littered with, first of all, there's more people to manage, and I have to hire people to actually help me run the group as well, which is better in your interest as well. There's tons of lessons. There's 81 short lessons now. There's 40 long lessons. I do Bitcoin technical analysis for the public and also for the Discord group. But in January, I'm going to keep it only for the private group here. This is my analysis of what I'm trading throughout the days. You'll always be able to catch up with my live trades. And this is the group that's active usually when I'm on. So let's get right into it. I don't want to spend time talking about things like that. What we predicted last time for our Bitcoin technical analysis was we were bullish. Okay. Another thing that we predicted was two things. One, SHIB would rally. I zoomed out on the daily chart for SHIB, and what I pointed out was I really like the way that this trends. It's a really symmetric line coming to the downside, and there's a good chance it's going to pop. Another thing that we said was that coins that have reached a 3-day MACD crossover with a histogram tick up moved. Okay, so we'll give you an example of any coin basically. So this is the second or third day actually, 1, 2, right? So this coin ends up moving up 18%. We'll go to any coin with a crossover that has been very prominent. Okay, so you can go to any of these and you can see that these coins here have moved up a very decent amount on the third day crossover. I'm trying to find one. Like here's an example of CRV. This now on the fourth day, this guy moved up 40%. So look at MTL, right? So this guy moved up 10% so far. Hasn't really moved too much. SNX is more like a low cap coin, so you can't really count it too much. 10% for that guy. There's some really, really big names here. For example, AVAX crossed before everybody else. This guy did 57%. So SHIB ended up doing 18% yesterday. Actually 20%. And then I'm in a long for ICP. Here's my position for ICP. I'm doing very well on it right now. Up a few $1,000 on a very small $44,000 position, which means I'm up about 4% already on it. 5% on it, which is a really big gain. Have you noticed the leverage? It's only 1x. I grew, if you take a look here, I grew $15,000 to $50,000. That's 15,000 to 50,000 in 4 days. So every time I reach a limit, what I do is I take out money and I put into a private account because I don't like to keep more than $30,000 online. Okay. I'm not going to take my profit anytime soon for this because I mentioned that ICP would be one of the biggest gainers. We have done about 13% so far in about 1.5 days. The reason why ICP was really hot, there's actually still a lot of room to go, which you'll see soon, is because the daily RSI is extremely low. It was reaching 25. Now it's about 30, 31. Also anticipating a MACD crossover. So anyways, enough with alts. I also mentioned that for Bitcoin, the second or third day of the MACD crossover, we would get a big spike up. 1, 2, 3. And surely enough, I woke up to this today. But I was following in the middle of the night as well. Let's clear all this out right here and talk about the Bitcoin count from an Elliot Wave perspective first of all. Okay, from an EWT perspective on a very high time frame, it's hard to argue that somewhere in here is a 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's a 5. I would personally bank on that count right there. That this year, I'm just keeping it as simple as possible. Somewhere in there. And I think that that's a 5 truncated. The reason for my belief is because of this. I'm keeping this very simple. I'm not looking at it on very high time frames. I'm just dividing up the fractals that I see that make the most sense, okay? If I were to take a trend extension, a fib extension here, I see this hits about 1-to-1, which is great. And then if I go to a lower time frame here as well, what I'm seeing is this just channeling in here somehow, right? It's channeling in there somehow, and this wave 3 in here crosses over many times. But it does a 1-to-1 extension, as you can see. Okay? And this is important to be counted as some impulse wave here, in my opinion, because this one doesn't get to be a lower low. So what I'm banking on now, I mentioned in my previous Bitcoin video that we're bullish. And a lot of the signs that pointed out to being bullish was the MACD crossover. Notice the price is getting lower lows here. But we're seeing the RSI get a higher low each time. We're also seeing Bitcoin, it's MACD on the daily, where I mentioned that the 2-3 days is a sweet spot right now, where these are called lagging indicators. But despite being lagging indicators, we can still use them as a good gauge to see how the momentum is sliding over. I mentioned we would cross over, and then on the second or third day, there's a high chance of us going to the upside. By the way, I apologize for my kind of dry sense of tone. I'm keeping it very objective. I don't want to add emotion to my videos anymore. I want to keep it just the way they are. I want to make sure that I maintain my discipline. And my focus this year is ensuring that I develop much more emotional control during my trades that can allow me to make much more informed and decisive decisions under pressure. Every year, we should always focus on something drastic to change or improve our strengths and drastically change some of our weaknesses where we can develop them into strengths. And for me, I still, after 6 years, have a lot of trouble maintaining my composure and discipline when I'm under pressure, as are a lot of people. It's something we constantly strive to improve. I'm thinking of taking my win here, just so I can go out for dinner and not be worried in any way. So we see that Bitcoin had the higher lows, okay? Bitcoin also had the MACD crossover trending to the upside. So if we were to find a target for this right here, we'd be looking at roughly, I'm probably going to have to guess somewhere of a Fibonacci range right around here. My target in the next 3 days or so will probably be the top of this right there. The top of that guy. Okay, right here, which would roughly be around 5,000 or $51,745. The high of this one is 51.9. So right around there. So we still have a really good ways to go of about 6%. That's my target. ICP, I'm thinking of closing it, but I probably won't because I'm in such a great position already. Is there a chance of us closing below there? I don't think so. The way that I believe to take stop losses now is this. Instead of placing your stop loss at a place where you're going to just minimize the amount that you lose, try to do that combined with a place that informs you your trade went the wrong way. Okay? So you must place your stop loss at a place where you know the trade has now gone wrong and there's not high of a chance for you to be right. A definitive place for you to be wrong. Does that make sense? So yesterday I mentioned, or 2 days ago I mentioned in my Bitcoin technical analysis, this, okay? We were channeling, which was very easy to see, right? I think that we all agree this channel to an extent here, just like that. It hit many points, top and bottom. Okay, there, all along here in the channel, it's hitting it. My last video, I mentioned that my bullish view would be nullified if we fell below here. If we fell below this line, because this, seen as an impulse wave, was trying to hold at the golden ratio zone right there, but we fell below it. But just because it fell below it doesn't mean you don't have a contingency plan. So the plan was, if it falls below here, below this retracement, then that would not be considered some impulse wave anymore. Okay? Or another way to look at it is, if this done a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, somewhere in there, I don't know, but it could be an A, B, C, D, E, somewhere in there, that double bottom, then that's the first impulse wave going out. Either way, if this was a wave going out, going upwards, there's no way there would be a retracement lower than this low right there. Otherwise, the wave is now discounted and it's no longer counted. But because the fact that we bounced slightly above it, it double bottomed in my eyes, and then we had this formation, which could have been into a descending type of triangle, but it wasn't. Something like that, right? No doubt in my mind that that could have been a descending triangle if we rejected right there, which we didn't, right? We didn't really reject it at all. I mean, we could have even gotten to the lower end like that. Like this looks nice actually in my eyes. Yeah, this looks really nice, the way I've drawn the yellow. So we got a little bit of hesitation here first of all. Came down, then shot right past it. So it could have been a descending triangle, but it wasn't. So we broke past it. And now the main focus is to stay above this particular channel resistance that was formerly, or this channel support that was formerly a resistance. Another major resistance that we had was the 4-hour 55 EMA. See these? Every time we got to it, we ended up wicking above it, which formed a bull trap. So in my opinion, we might lull here. We might just kind of do nothing for a while. The 55 EMA is extended, kind of going up like that perhaps. And then we kind of do a bounce off of the channel and the 55 EMA and then go to the top side even further. So I'm still very bullish on Bitcoin. I don't really care if we're bullish long term or medium term. I just care about it being bullish for the week or not. Because I'm a day trader, and I don't really care much about what's going on the bigger picture at all. I'm a day trader. My goal is to capitalize on the volatility intraday. Not for a week, not for 2 weeks. I don't really care, right? By the time people realize it's bullish long term, it's just too late. So I'm always going to be a short-term trader, and that's where my bias will lie for now. Bullish. So we will talk soon, as opposed to, and you know my targets roughly right now. Okay, the target's roughly this particular high, around 51,900 at most, where we bounce off of there, and then we shoot even higher. As for alts, I don't have time to do that right now, so I'll keep you guys all posted later down the road. Although CHR is really on fire right now, so I might be looking for a short position for that sometime soon. Anyways, have a great night. Bye now.